got bright rosy cheeks and a fluffy white beard with marshmallow walls and a big red chair. Santa's coming, Santa's
that
coming,
is good hot
Santa's
cocoa.
coming.
Make sure I don't have any cocoa on my mustache. Hi, Santa here, and welcome back to Santa Has a Podcast. It's so good to see you. You know, this is where we're going to tell stories and we laugh a little bit about all kinds of things at the North Pole. So are you ready for today's podcast? I am. Before we get started, though, last week we gave you the riddle, and I want to find out how many of you got the answer to the riddle. Are you ready to figure that one out? Here, I'm going to read it to you again, okay? It starts out, I'm not a gift, but I'm best when I'm shared. I can be a smile, a hug, a care. I can make the world feel warm and bright. What am I? Did you figure that one out? Do you know the answer? The answer is kindness. Yes. It's not really a physical thing. It's one of the things that we do in our work and everything that we do with our family and our loved ones and our friends at school and everything. It's being kind to others. So kindness is one of the things that we can share with everybody else. You can share a smile with everybody else, and that is all part of the kindness and everything. So that's great. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about kindness and giving and those types of things. So I wanted to give you some little bit of information. Did you know the Salvation Army has been spreading kindness for years, and since 1891, you know, that's like 126 years, 27 years, they have been having their kettles out there and collecting money and helping other people with the money that they raise for charity. And they feed people, they get them clothes, they take care of them. It's a very, very big program, and it is so, so wonderful. Now, the idea of giving, you know, of course, has been going around for years, and in all cultures and all societies, there's some element of giving and of charity and doing things for others. One of the earliest stories we know of giving, of course, was the wise men when they visited the Christ child in Bethlehem and brought him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And they were showing an example to everybody else. They were paying respect and kindness to the Holy Child and the family. Well, guess what? You can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be gold and frankincense and myrrh. You could bring cookies to a neighbor. You could write a note to them. You know, anytime you're doing something special. How about your neighbor has to have something picked up on their lawn? You know, I have a friend who tells me one of the things he likes to do is he goes down and helps bring back get this now, he brings back the trash cans so they don't have to go out to the curb and bring them back to the house. It's a wonderful act of kindness, and nobody has to ask him to do it. He just does it because he likes his neighbor and he wants to be kind to her. So it's a wonderful type of thing. Now, Secret Santas is another type of kindness. This is where maybe you do some gift giving. You know, you wonder about being a Secret Santa. Sometimes you can go to a mall or a church or a school, and they might have a tree. And on the tree, they'll have little tags and the names of a child or a family that might need some help. And you could help them out by getting them some Christmas gifts or some clothing or some things they need. And then it's delivered to them, but they don't know it came from you. It's all a secret. But you feel good about it, don't you? Isn't it neat to have that warm, fuzzy feeling inside when we do something kind for other people? And that's why we do all this gift giving at Christmas, because it's not just the fact that we want to receive a gift. I mean, it's fun, isn't it, to get a gift? But guess what? When you give a gift to somebody else, you feel good about it. And sometimes when it's a secret gift, you even feel more tingly inside and have more fun. So secret giving can be a wonderful thing. And again, as we say, it's kind of North Pole worthy, okay? So we love doing that type of thing. Well, anyway, lots of things about kindness we're going to talk about today. But right now, we need to go to Candy Cane Square and check on things that are latest from Chatter Snowglitz. So, Chatter, what do you have for us today?
Thanks, Santa. Well, snowflakes and sleigh bells, I'm Chatter Snowglitz reporting live from Candy Cane Square, where kindness is catching like glitter and the holiday hugs are extra warm today. Let's see what's happening around town. First, a classroom in Canada knitted scarves for a local shelter. See if you can join in too. A group of kids in Mexico organize a book drive for younger students to help all those around their community. And in Australia, a brother and sister made lunches for their neighbors. Oh, we love hearing about all the goodness going around the earth. This is Reporting Live, where kindness is trending in every corner of the world. It's Chatter Snowglitz jingling out. Back to you, Santa.
Oh, thank you, Chatter. That was a wonderful report. Now it's time to get the sleigh under the sun a little bit, get a little warm, and dive into today's holiday magic. We've got a lot of things we want to talk about. Now, it's important to remember that every kind act that you do adds a little sparkle and a little energy to our spirit meter, because we always want to know what you're doing. And the more energy, the more spirit we have, the stronger the Christmas spirit is as I travel around the world on Christmas Eve. And we need to collect every bit of spirit energy you have out there. So your acts of kindness help us build up the energy and make the sleigh run even faster and make everything much, much more special for all of you and all the children around the world. So let's talk about some of the simple acts of kindness that you can do every day. I mean, these are not hard either. Very, very simple things. Example, hold the door open for someone. Isn't that a nice thing to do? You know, maybe somebody's carrying some groceries in from outside. Hold the door open so they can bring the groceries inside. Or maybe you're visiting someone and they need to get in the front door. You open the door first and hold the door open for them. Maybe you're at a restaurant. You hold the door open so somebody else can go in before you. That's an act of kindness, and people really love it, and they'll actually turn around and probably say thank you to you for your act of kindness. So it is a beautiful thing. How about saying something nice to a classmate or a friend? Just, a compliment. Telling them thank you. Maybe you're playing, soccer, or you're playing a sport, and you're telling them, oh, that was a good kick that you had, or wow, your pitch is really good. Those are ways of saying kind things to your friends and making them feel good about what they're doing. And again, it adds to the power of our spirit meter, okay? How about drawing a cheerful picture or a little greeting, something that maybe you could give to a family member? Maybe you draw a picture and you give it to your mom and say, hey, Mom, here's a special drawing I did for you of a flower. Isn't it a pretty flower? Or maybe you make a little note or a gift and you give it to a neighbor and tell them how much you appreciate them as a neighbor and that you like them. And here's a pretty picture of a flower for you. How about cleaning up your room? Yes. Now, that's one of those things that maybe mom or dad or somebody at the house is always asking you, clean up your room, pick up your toys, don't leave the wet towels in the bathroom, all those types of things, right? Well, what if you took care of those things by yourself without being asked? That's an act of kindness. So if you clean up your room or you clean up your plates, maybe after dinner you help clear the table and you're not even asked to do it, those are acts of kindness. And it adds to the spirit and the power that we need to make our Christmas very magical. So you can help out in a lot of ways. Now, I've got to ask you, can you think of something you could do, something special, something I haven't even talked about? Maybe you have your own ideas. Think of something special you could do, and then give that act of kindness to somebody else. Do something special. So, and if you have a suggestion of what I can put on my list, send me a note. Go to Santa as a podcast and leave me a note of what kind of act of kindness you have done. That makes it very, very special, okay? Good. Oh, I love it when we talk about kindness. Now, there are other kinds of kindness sometimes you need a little help with, okay? Now, the ones I just talked about are things that you can do by yourself with no help at all. But sometimes you may want to have a little help. Maybe you ask your parents to help you out a little bit. How about collecting canned goods and food to give to the people in need? Particularly when it comes to the holiday season. A lot of times you'll have people collecting canned goods and food to help other people out. You can do that, and your parents can help you. You can collect canned goods. I've had kids actually take their wagons or even the stroller for something like that, and they go from house to house visiting their neighbors, and they ask them for leftover canned goods, food that they're not using, and they would like to share with somebody else. And they collect the canned goods, and then they take it to the Salvation Army or one of the local community groups that distributes the food to other people. This is a wonderful act of kindness. But you probably have to have a parent or an adult help you out, especially if you're going door to door to your neighbors and stuff like that. You want to have an adult with you, okay? You never go by yourself, never go alone. You got to be very safe too, okay? How about making a care kit? Yeah, this is a care kit for people without homes. Now, sometimes a care kit might have, a little blanket in it, some bars of soap or some hand lotion, things like that. Little things that we take granted for that we always have around our house. What if we had those items and gave them to somebody in need, someone who needed those items for their own home? It makes it very, very special. And if it's other children, maybe you've got a book that you're not reading anymore. You've already read it many times. You can put the book in there for another child to read. These are things that you can do, and it's caring, but it's also kindness. And that's what we're talking about today, kindness, doing other little things. These are things that don't have to cost us any money or anything like that. It takes a little bit of our time, but it's not that much time. And you're going to feel good. You're going to feel great about doing something for other people. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to share with other people and give an act of kindness. Now, here's another act of kindness that's kind of neat. How about hosting a lemonade stand? Okay? How many of you had a lemonade stand? Okay? Well, this time, how about if it's free lemonade? You have a lemonade stand and you give away free lemonade to other people. Again, this is an act of kindness. It's kind of a fun type thing. And it's summertime right now, so we've still got a little bit of warm weather left. This would be a great thing to do is one day put out a little lemonade stand, and everybody coming by gets a free glass of lemonade. Again, you got to have your parents help you out a little bit on it, but it can be a lot of fun, and it's a wonderful act of kindness. So, by the way, if you come up with any other ideas, remember you can go to the website, Santa Has a Podcast. Tell me your idea of what you think would be great to do for your act of kindness, okay? Let's see. I've got one more little item here, and this is something for an act of kindness at home. This is a note that you might write. This could be to your parents, it could be to grandparents, whatever. Write a little note that says, I love you because, and then write down what reason would be. I love you because you always make good dinners for me. Or I love you because you always support me when I want to go to sports or something like that. Or I love you because you tuck me in every night and tell me a story. Any type of thing your family does for you, writing that little note. And it doesn't have to be a long note. It just has to be like one sentence. I love you because, and ... you add whatever it is. That's a warm and wonderful way of spreading kindness. And when you do something like that, you are going to feel good. Santa's going to feel good. And the spirit meter is going to climb. Yes, it's going to get even higher. We need to build that spirit up again so that we've got tons and tons of magic for Christmas Eve. Okay? That helps power Santa's sleigh. Okay? Here's another item you could do. You could help cook or prepare dinner. We talked about this the other day. Help set the table, help clear the table, things like that. These are acts of kindness. And one of the other things you could do, you don't even have to write anything down. You could actually go to your parent or go to someone you love and say, I love you because. Give them a hug, just make it kind of special. Yeah, these are wonderful things you can do. So, again, tell me if you have any ideas. I'd love to hear from you, okay? And then there's the things we could do in the community. I talked about, maybe collecting canned goods for other people, or maybe, putting together a little package, a little care package for somebody. But you can volunteer. Do you have a community garden? Is there a cleanup program in your community where everybody goes out and picks up the trash at the park or along a highway or something like that? Again, this is done with parents. You don't do this on your own, okay? You always go with an adult. And be safe when you do it. In fact, cleaning up in the park is always a lot of fun, type thing to do. And then you can also deliver cards or little notes to people at senior citizen centers. Again, I'm giving you lots of ideas here, but I want to hear your ideas too, because I could give you 100 different things you could do, but I want to hear what your little list is. I've got about a dozen things I've covered here, but if you can give me 2, 3, or 4 more different ideas, the next time I talk to everybody about doing something for others and doing acts of kindness, I might mention your suggestion and what you think would be very, very special for spreading kindness to everybody else. Well, Christmas is, just, one day in the year, and it's a feeling that we carry in our hearts wherever we go. And you know what keeps the Christmas spirit shining bright all year long? It is kindness, okay? That's right. When you help a friend, when you share with them or say something nice, you're spreading Christmas joy that can be used everywhere. Kindness helps people make us good people. It helps build character. We talk about in school about reading, writing, and arithmetic, but I think kindness and respect and doing things with other people and caring for other people, that's all part of what we do and what we learn to be good citizens. And I think that's one of the things you want to be, is you want to be a good citizen. And so you can do that type of character. But it's sometimes when no one's watching. That's what I think is neat. It's secretly. You've done something special and you're not being asked to do it, and you do it all on your own. And like I said, nobody's watching. It's just something you do in kindness. That I think sometimes is even more powerful and more magical to what we're doing and all that. So, did you hold the door open? Did you speak kindly to someone? Did you tell the truth when you were talking to them? Okay? These little choices help build up character and, again, make you a good citizen, okay? And that's what's very, very important. So the more kindness we share, the more joy we spread. Okay, so the more kindness we share, the more joy we spread. Okay? Easy to remember, isn't it? Okay, let's move on here. Kindness is always, really great, but now it's time to get a few little laughs, a few little giggles in here. And it's time to head over to Rudolph, because Rudolph has some jingle jokes. And are you ready, Rudolph? What do you have for us today?
I'm ready, Santa. Why do I never get lost? It's because I always knows the way. Why do reindeer wear bells? Because their horns don't honk.
Oh, those jokes really slay me. Rudolph, you always have some fun jokes. By the way, if anybody has any suggestions for Rudolph's jokes, by the way, you can also go to Santa as a podcast and send us your jokes, and we'll get them over to Rudolph and let him read them on the air, and we can have a little bit of fun there, okay? Now let's peek into the mailbag. It's time for Mailbag Magic. Yes, and I've got all kinds of little notes and things like that. Let's see, our first letter comes from Emma. Emma is 5 years old, and her letter says, "Dear Santa, I was really brave at the dentist, and I didn't cry at all. I hope you like the cookies I leave. I made sure they had extra sprinkles." Wow. That is great, Emma. Thank you very much. It's so nice that you were brave at the dentist, Emma. I mean, all children get a little afraid when they go visit a dentist, but again, the dentist is trying to make sure that your teeth are shiny and strong, and so you have to visit them every once in a while to have them checked. So thank you for being brave, and that just adds a little bit of kindness to our kindness meter. I think that's great, okay? Some of you guys sent Santa some questions, okay, and put them on our website. So the first one I got, which is a very popular question, I hate to say it, but I think about 30 of you sent the same question, okay? It's a big one. It's a popular one, and that is, what is Santa's favorite cookie? Okay? Because, some people think I like chocolate chip cookies, I like oatmeal raisin cookies, I might like the packaged cookies, the Oreos and things like that. I like all kinds of cookies. I mean, I like especially the cookies that either you make, in other words, if your parents help you, you bake your own cookies. Do you get to do that at home? Well, the cookies you make yourself are really great. Or if you went to the store and actually bought the cookies for me and put them on the plate. The main thing is that if you actually put the cookies on the plate, it shows that you love me, that you're actually showing me kindness, and those are the best tasting cookies in the world. I love them. So again, any type of cookie, chocolate chips, snickerdoodles, oatmeal raisin, Oreos, all kinds of cookies. I love them all, okay? Let's see, we got another one here.
Santa, what's your favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color. Now, thank you for that question. You know, everybody knows that my suit is red. My sleigh is red. Kind of red is the number one color at Christmas. But I also like green. If you notice, I'm wearing a green shirt today. I like all colors, but red is probably the number one color. But it doesn't matter really what color I wear. It's the fact that whatever I wear helps me bring joy and happiness to all of you. And if depending on what part of the world I'm in, sometimes people like my Santa outfit to be burgundy or a purple type color. So there's lots of different colors. In Russia, they love royal blue with white snowflakes and white fur. That's one of the most popular colors because there they know me as Father Christmas. So again, it's always a lot of fun to have different colors. I mean, you would probably be bored if you wore the same color every single day. But red is the number one color, my favorite color. Okay, we get lots of questions. I want you to send in your questions to us. You can go online to Santa Has a Podcast. Ask your question. I will try to give you the best answer. And like I said before, if I don't know the answer, I'm sure one of the elves will help me get the answer that we need. Okay? So that's the way we go. Okay, now it's time, because I'm talking really loud. I've got to now talk very softly. I want you to be very quiet too. Be very, very, very quiet. We're going to listen for the spirit meter. Can you hear it? Ooh. It's sounding stronger than last week. Oh, it's sounding so good. Wow. I love it to hear all the things in the spirit meter because it's your work. It's what you do. The kindness and the good deeds that you do help make the spirit meter go higher and higher and higher. And we want to reach the top, the highest it could ever go. So when we hit Christmas Eve, we have all the magic we need to get all around the world and deliver presents to all the children. So that's really, really great. So let's talk about the good deeds. I just mentioned, good deeds and kindness and everything. Did you do something last week that was a good deed? I wanted you to learn something new about Christmas in another country and share it with someone. Did you do that? Oh, that is wonderful, wonderful. That helps us a whole lot. Well, I want you to keep doing good deeds, and I've got another good deed for you for this week. Can I give you another one? I think each week it's neat to try to do something new, a new challenge each week, a new good deed each week. Now this week, we've got another good deed for you, okay? This week, this one's much more simpler, and everybody can do this one. I want you to hold the door open for someone else, okay? And do it with a big smile. Yeah, go right to the door, pull the handle, a big smile, and say, you don't even have to say this is for you. Just open the door and hold it for them as they go in. You can do that for your parents. You can do that when you're at school or at a restaurant, all kinds of places. Holding the door and letting other people go in before you is a wonderful act of kindness and a good deed. And that's the good deeds are what we like, okay? So you try to do that, and next week we'll check our spirit meter. The spirit meter is already moving a little bit. I think some of you are already thinking about how you can do something special, like holding the door open. That is great. So keep it up. Well, my friends, that's about it there for this week. But before we say goodbye, we have one more little task. Every week as we close it out, I like to give you one of Santa's riddles. We have little riddles that I'd like you to figure out the answer to. So are you ready for this week's riddle? Okay. It's a very easy one. You leave me out with milk at night. I'm crunchy. I'm sweet. And such a delight. What am I? I'm sure this is an easy one. Just about all of you can guess this one, okay? I'm going to repeat it again. Here we go. You leave me out with milk at night. I'm crunchy and sweet. Such a delight. What am I? Okay, if you know the answer, I'm going to tell you the answer next week when we come back with Santa Has a Podcast. So keep spreading the joy and kindness to everybody else. And I'll talk to you next time on Santa Has a Podcast. Ho, 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 ho!